Hello, and welcome to my cozy little corner of the internet. Today I'm going to be doing something that I've been wanting to do for a while, just not with Harvest Moon characters, but I'll get into that. I had this idea a long time ago to do like redesigning Pokemon starters, for example, and when I went to try and do that, you know, the Pokemon starters are just too iconic to change, so I might have to revisit that a little bit later, but I had an idea not too long ago to do this with Stardew Valley characters, because as much as I like the designs, I feel like they could be a little bit better, you know? They could be a little bit more extra, you know what I'm saying? But, I mean, of course I understand that there's a charm to the simplicity in their designs, and I can appreciate that. Not to mention the fact that I really haven't played too much Stardew Valley, so I just didn't feel like it would be right to do that. And then I thought, what about Harvest Moon characters? And I got so excited about the idea that I immediately had to draw these guys. Speaking of which, sorry I couldn't show you the sketching process. I wound up doing it on paper because my last video that I did, you know, I did a lot of sketching for that, and I just forgot how much fun it is to sketch on paper. There's something magical about traditional media, okay? I can't explain it. Like I said, sorry there's not a process of me actually sketching it up, but this is what we got, so we'll just stick with it. So, Harvest Moon. Specifically, A Wonderful Life, because that is the game that I started with. I feel like it's just such a good Harvest Moon game because it's so simple, and I love that about it. And of course, I'm biased because, you know, it's the first one I ever played. I don't know, there's just a certain kind of charm about A Wonderful Life that I find a lot of Harvest Moon games these days are severely lacking in, or should I say Story of Seasons. Yeah. But A Wonderful Life was from a time before all of the other terrible Harvest Moon games that came after. Some of them were great, like I really liked Animal Parade, and I think there was another one for the Wii, I can't remember what it was called, but I really enjoyed those games. But I feel like since then there hasn't been one that had the same je ne sais quoi as the original and also A Wonderful Life and a couple of other sort of ones. But anyway, so that's why I decided to start with these characters, specifically the protagonists from the game, Mark, and also Pony, the female counterpart. So going into this, originally what I wanted to do was like modernize their designs, and I feel like to a certain degree I kind of did that, but also not at the same time, because as I was doing that, I kind of started coming up with like story ideas for like a remake. And basically, I envisioned these characters to be kind of like, you know how in Legend of Zelda, it's like Link and Zelda and Ganondorf get like reincarnated a whole bunch and they're basically the same character, or like the ancestors of the older versions of the characters. I kind of wanted to go with that kind of feel for like, you know, a story about this. I also really enjoy the concept of like low-tech civilizations that are like living in the shadow of a high-tech civilization. So like there was a high-tech civilization that got lost to some kind of apocalypse or something like that, and now there's a society that's living hundreds or maybe thousands of years after that event, kind of like Horizon Zero Dawn. I really enjoy that whole spiel, that whole trope, so I kind of wanted to do something like that. So that's why they have scars specifically, because what I imagined for this story is that all of these characters kind of just wake up one day and they don't remember where they are or who they are or anything like that. Long story short, again, I just barely started brainstorming it, so I don't have any like concrete ideas or anything. It was just fun stuff to go along for, you know, some added context to why I did certain things with the design. But anyway, so I imagine the Harvest Princess had something to do with it. Maybe she sacrificed herself in some regard, but all of these characters wake up after this big, huge event. I'm thinking some kind of like war with like monsters or something, you know, really, really standard classic stuff. And so this game, this alternate universe would be, I guess, kind of more on the Rune Factory side, because there would be like some fantasy JRPG elements involved, because I think that's really fun to add to a farming game. I just think that's a great idea. And it would kind of add into the story because it would all be set in Forget-Me-Not Valley, which is the place where A Wonderful Life is set. Except the town would now be called Forgotten Valley, because I wanted to do something with that name, because the name of the town always kind of stuck with me. I really liked it for some reason, I don't know. So that's what kind of gave me this idea that all of these characters have forgotten something, and the game would start with your character finding some kind of clue to the mysterious past that they've all tried to remember but just can't seem to. And this would be like a couple of years after they've all woken up and they're all kind of like used to it now. They're all getting back into their daily lives, the humdrum of normal lives of farming and running an inn, etc., etc. So, I don't know. I had a lot of fun thinking about that while I was making these designs. And I'm definitely going to apply that to future designs because, yes, of course, this is going to be a series. So, you know, of course, with this one, I'm starting with the protagonists. The next one's going to be the Bachelors or the Bachelorettes, and then I'm going to do like some random townies. I don't know. It'll be fun. So that idea is definitely going to go into future designs, so I'm excited to play around with that. So let's jump into specifically talking about Mark here, who is on the screen. For his colors, which is what I'm starting now, I wanted to keep like his skin and his hair the same-ish color, because I didn't want to deviate too far from the original designs, but what I wanted to do is, as I said, modernize them, and also just add a little bit more character to them. I feel like his hair is probably a little bit more extra than it needs to be, but my reasoning is that it kind of reminds me of a rooster, and I also thought that this alternate universe game would have something to do with like animal totems or something like that. I thought that would be a cool idea. So Mark's would be a rooster, and Pony, who's coming up next, would, you know, be a pony, but still. So that's another thing I might apply to future designs. We'll see how that works. So for Mark, I gave him a rooster haircut because his original hair was kind of spiky, but I felt like I could just push it a little bit further, you know? And I wanted to give him like more of a deeper skin tone, just because I feel like between the original Mark and Pony designs, Mark did have kind of a deeper skin tone. So I wanted to go with that, but again, just push it a little bit. And another thing that I kept was his red bandana. I think that's just an iconic thing for him, so I decided to keep it and kind of play into that and, you know, add a little patch to go along with it, just to distribute some red throughout the design. And some green pants to counter the red, and I also wanted to give him this jacket just because I love, like, the flight jacket look, the pilot jacket kind of look, but it wound up coming out a little bit more suede looking than I thought originally, but I think that's okay. And as I mentioned earlier, I gave him some scars to go along with like the story that I imagined for this kind of game, and just some regular boots and like gloves for working around the farm, and of course his rucksack, because you need somewhere to carry your sickles and your hoes, am I right, ladies? Sorry. Anyways, so at this point I started playing around with the colors a little bit, because what I always do is I go in and just kind of like eyeball everything first, just to get everything in place, and then I go through and, you know, redo everything, and then I come in with a nice swatch of one color just to try to blend everything in. So he wound up being a little bit more orangey than I originally thought, because I kind of wanted to go with a red for him, but I think it works. And I wanted to do like some light line art for the scars to try to set it apart, but I decided it didn't work, so we kept it the way it was. And then of course, gotta add the sparklies in the eyes, because I couldn't decide if I wanted to do it in my style or the game style, but I decided to do kind of a mix in the end. So, anyways, here's Pony, the lovely Pony. I have always really loved her design. When I found out that there was a Harvest Moon Wonderful Life for girls, like with a girl character, I got so excited, but unfortunately I never got to play that one until much later. But I feel like if I played that when I was a kid, it would have been like the ultimate game. So I already love Pony's design so much, especially her ponytail, so I had to do something with that, and obviously because her name is Pony, you can't, how can you not have an iconic ponytail? So what I decided to do, even though it may not be apparent from this angle, is give her a side pony. I just thought that would be a super cute look and also maybe like emphasize the whole ponytail thing even more. And I also wanted to give her a bandana to tie around it, because even though I do want Mark and Pony's character designs to be, like, individual, I also wanted to make reference to each design, so it feels like they're the same character, kind of, but also their own separate characters, you know what I mean? So she also has a bandana, but just ties it around her hair instead. And I also wanted to give her, like, these really cute, like, this cute overall skirt. I thought that was so adorable. And I'm pretty sure she wears a skirt in her original design as well, so I kind of wanted to do something with that. And you'll see later when I get to the colors, but I stuck with the orange. I just had to, because I just thought it looked so good, because orange is her color, baby. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, I just gave her like a simple V-neck shirt under that, and there's this weird bandana bandage around her arm. It has no purpose. I just wanted to put it there, okay? Give me a break. I know that's probably breaking some kind of character design rule, but I don't care. I just wanted to do this for fun and have a good time, so this is what happened. And I don't think I mentioned it earlier, but I added like these little paw print like grips to the inside of their gloves. I just thought it added to the whole like cutesy thing going on with Harvest Moon. And, you take care of animals in the game, so your character would like animals and would like cutesy animal stuff, why not? I also wanted to add, like, a little flower right here because I thought it would be really cute, and you probably already noticed, but I gave her a flower hair clip. I don't know, just something a little bit extra, like I've been saying throughout this whole video pretty much. And I kept it pretty much the same in the glove area. There's a couple of little changes. Same with the shoes. There's a couple of changes, but they're basically the same thing. The main differences between Mark and Pony, I think, are their outfits. And you'll see I also did, like, the same skin tone, same hair color, because as I said, I want them to be similar but different. So hopefully I was able to accomplish that. I also gave her some leggings to go under her skirt because I think she wears leggings in her original design. I'll have to go back and look. And yes, of course I did study the original designs before I, made my own versions because I want them to be similar in some regards so they're at least a little bit recognizable. That's what I am going for at least. So hopefully, again, I was able to achieve that. But yeah, so A Wonderful Life has such a special place in my heart. My first Harvest Moon game, I absolutely love a lot of Harvest Moon games. I'm not going to say all of them because I've played quite a few, and I have only really absolutely loved a handful, like maybe 3 that I can think of off the top of my head that I'm like I would kill to play that game again. But a majority of them, I hate to say, I didn't really enjoy it. And I feel like this is going to sound so stupid, but I feel like a big part of that is because in a lot of Harvest Moon games, it takes so much, to get married. That's probably my favorite element of Harvest Moon games, besides the farming, is just, finding a cute spouse and getting married. I'm a sucker for romance, stuff like that. And so the fact that you had to save all the sprites and all this crap to get married first was just so monotonous to me and it made me not want to play. But A Wonderful Life, you don't have to do that at all. Like, it's so easy to, like, find somebody that you like and get married to them. Easier for some characters than others, of course. I think that's part of the reason why I enjoy that game so much, is because, like, you want to get married? Okay, go get married. Like, do it, you know? No biggie. But, you know, for some reason the characters also kind of stand out in my head amongst the Harvest Moon games that I've played. Just because they all have so much personality. Like Vesta, for example. I absolutely love her. She's the first one that comes to mind. And I love that all the characters look so unique, and they all have their own kind of personality, their own charm, you know what I mean? And also the location, Forget-Me-Not Valley, it's just like this calm little town on the coast. It's got like a nice river running through it. It's very calm and serene and peaceful. And there's not really a lot of like hustle and bustle going on. I feel like that's more appropriate for Mineral Town. Mineral Town seems a little bit more like hustle and bustle, as they say. Of course, I'll be doing those characters in the future at some point, but I want to finish out A Wonderful Life first because it's my favorite Harvest Moon game. Okay, I said it, it's my number one favorite. But yeah, if you'll notice, I gave Pony some scars as well. They're not the exact same as Mark's, so again, it's a way I wanted to kind of separate the two of them. So I, at first, was gonna give her, like, just brown eyes, because, I mean, not the same shade of brown as Mark's, because I did want their eyes to be different colors. Because, I mean, well, their color palettes are totally separate in the original games, because they're, like, not meant to be the same character. At least I don't think so. So in that regard, I kind of changed them both up to make them a little bit more similar to each other, in a way. But you'll see later I decide to change her eyes to a drastically different color. I'll leave that as a surprise, even though, like, who cares? But, you know, I just wanted to do something like that. And also, her leggings, originally, I made them the same color as, like, her gloves and stuff. And I just hated how that looked. This first run through of colors, I wasn't liking it at all. It was not blending at all. So this one I spent a lot more time going back in and like changing all the colors and playing around with like where certain colors were. Because with me, I like to stick to a semi-limited color palette, at least in like how many colors I use. So for example, this one, I used blue, green, orange, and yellow as like my base colors. For me, that's a lot. Usually I like to stick with like 3. I really like how the final product came out. And as I was saying, I like to distribute colors fairly evenly throughout the design. That's something I like to do as well. And I think I accomplished that in the end, and I'm happy with how both of these came out. I didn't imagine them to look like they do at all, but as I said, I'm quite happy with them, and I hope that you are too. We're coming close to the end of this video. Again, I hope you enjoyed watching this. I hope you enjoyed me ranting about Harvest Moon for a little bit. I will continue to do so in future videos. And I also want to say that I'm not going to be like so much being a stickler for this series specifically, because there's a lot of things that I want to do on my YouTube channel. I've got like 2 or 3 videos that I'm working on right now, but for the time being, I wanted to do this as kind of like a nice little relaxing, quick thing for me to do in between bigger projects. So I hope that's okay with you guys. And of course, if you liked it, be sure to like the video, and if you didn't like it, you don't have to like it, or you can dislike it, whatever you want to do. If you want to talk to me in the comments about Harvest Moon, or maybe give me some critiques on my character design, I would really appreciate and enjoy that. And of course, if you'd like to see more videos from me, be sure to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell if you want to. I'm going to be doing a lot of different things, probably mainly Walking Dead stuff, but I do definitely want to stick to this series and do more art-related stuff. I have another drawing and talking about that I'm planning on. I have a video about my puppy that's going to be coming soon, so there's going to be a lot of stuff coming. Anyways, thank you once again for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that you're having a wonderful day or night wherever you are, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.